Thank you, Comsec. First of all, I would like to apologize since we came in late because I was talking to some members of the MILF returnees in my office, and that they were complaining. And they executed an affidavit which still is unsigned, and I will just talk to Secretary Galvez later with regard to their problem. Okay, the persons we are assisting and representing first approached acting Mayor Omar Ali of the municipality of Datu Salibo, Maguindanao del Sur. Mayor Ali then contacted his political allies in Maguindanao del Sur, and he was able to refer his concern to Mayor Balayman of the municipality of Pandag, Maguindanao del Sur. Ang naging problema po nito ay itong mga MILF rebel returnees ay nabigyan na po ng 100,000 na pinangako po ng gobyerno. Ngunit nung pagbigay sa kanila ng 100,000, yung kanilang mga commander ay kinuha po yung kalahati. And that is what that is one of their concerns, no? And if we have 26,000 combatants who are willing to surrender, that 1.3 billion yun mapupunta ron sa mga, hindi mapupunta ron sa mismong mga rebel returnees, kundi sa mga commanders nila. So siguro kailangan natin paimbestigahan yung ganitong klaseng problema. And I've intimated to Secretary Galvez a while ago in my office to please investigate these wrongdoings. Okay ka naman tanong? Okay. Senator Tulfo?
Yes. My first question, Secretary Galvez or anybody from your office can answer this. 100,000 pesos each were given to MILF surrenderies. Hindi po ata pantay. Why sa MNLF, 45,000 lamang allocated for surrenderies? Bakit magkaiba po? Sa MILF, 100,000, MNLF, 45,000.
Sir, actually, sir, yung sir natin, yung sa 100,000, sa MILF, dahil kasi mayroon ko silang decommissioning. Yung sa MNLF po, sir, is stenciling. Wala pa po yung talagang decommissioning because on our final peace agreement with the MNLF, wala po tayong provisions for decommissioning. So yung gagawin po natin, yung initially yung 45,000, considering na according to RA 20 of the final peace agreement, those who will not be integrated should be given tinatawag natin socio-economic package. And basically, ang gusto nga namin po, pare-pareho po yung ibigay. Ang intention po talaga natin is 100,000 din po ibigay natin sa MNLF. Initially lang na ibigay natin yun because ang ano pa lang natin is only stenciling pa po ang ginawa po natin, Your Honor.
Okay. Stenciling Secretary?
Yes, sir. Kasi yun nga po ang ano natin, kasi ito po yung nagiging problema po natin sa final peace agreement.
Can you please enlighten this committee what stenciling is all about?
Yung stenciling po ng firearms nila, kinukuha po ng bali po sir, nire-record po natin kasi yung part po yun, ito part po ng ano natin yan na gusto po natin ma-recover po lahat ang mga loose firearms. So isa po ito yung mga tinatawag natin na parang ating proseso para at least kukunin natin yung firearms ng ating brother MNLF, and then stencil po natin, and then we have an agreement na mayroon tinatawag tayong firearms control.
Yeah, as a follow-up question to that.
Before that, Senator Tulfo would like to acknowledge the presence of Senator Bato de la Rosa.
Okay. Yung mga sinusurrender na firearms, 4,000 in all, right? Yan po ba ay niregister? Meron ho ba kayong database where those firearms are registered? And I would like to follow up also dun sa request ng kausap ng mga taga-military na dapat yung serial numbers, if they are logged in sa database ninyo, dapat accessible lang sa PNP at NBI para kung halimbawa nagkaroon ng operations yung mga grupong yon, they can cross-check dun sa mga na-recover nila na mga baril versus dun po sa mga sinurrender ng mga baril. So, ito ba mga baril na sinurrender, 4,000, are they logged in sa isang database?
Sir, nandito po yung ating Vice Chair ng Independent Decommissioning Body in the person of Mr. Hovland from Norway. Sila po ang nag-ano po ng proseso.
Mr. Hovland, the firearms, the 4,000 firearms, how are they being handled once they were surrendered to the government? What kind of accounting do we do?
Your Honor, we in the independent decommissioning body, we receive and decommission the firearms We register them. We do a function test of the firearms. So all the firearms you receive are operational. And then we store them according to the agreement. We also take in the registration number of the weapon. And according to the agreement between the parties, that is to be confidential for the independent decommissioning body.
Can we have records of those firearms that were surrendered, the serial numbers, and are they stored in a database where it will be accessible to the PNP and NBI and even the military? Like I said earlier, if there's an operation conducted by these authorities and in the process they were able to recover firearms in those operations, at least they can make some cross-checking to ensure that none of those firearms they recovered during their operations came from the weapons that were surrendered from the decommissioning process.
So for now, we are bound by our mandate given to us by the two parties, the government of the Philippines and the Moro Islamic Liberation Front. And in the terms of reference of the IDB, it says that all information, data, or opinions gathered, generated or exchanged in connection with the work of IDB are confidential and may not be divulged to an organization, individual, or entity. But if the parties would, of course, agree that we should share that, we could be open to do so. But for now, we're bound by our mandate.
So right now, it's confidential, so you cannot divulge to us the firearms. What kind of firearms are those? The serial numbers? That's confidential? You mean the Filipino people doesn't have the right to know?
So
Sir?
So, Your Honor, we in the IDB, when we finished each phase of decommissioning, we send a report to our principal, which is a two-piece panels.
I understand, sir. I understand. I know where you're coming from. I know what you're saying. But the thing is, there was more than 2-point-something billion spent for this program. In exchange, they have to surrender their weapons. And I just want those weapons accounted for. First, where are they stored? And then second, how are they being handled? And then third, they should be in a database, like I said, for the third time, which will be accessible to everybody, especially the PNP, the NBI, the AFP, in case they need to check those database, those serial numbers of those firearms. Then they can always go to that computer and look it for themselves.
So, Your Honor, I understand your question. I understand your need to do so. I really do. So we have our mandate now, and I can also answer what we do with weapons. We store them in a secure storage area. And then according to the agreement, after the fourth phase, or when the parties agree, we will put them beyond use.
So even a video, you can show us a video or even pictures of those weapons?
So we had...
Still confidential?
No, we had two large events in Tulfo Bato, where we had display of all the firearms that we received for the phase, witnessed by...
Can you show us some videos at least? Or pictures? Because 4,000 is a lot of firearms, and I just want to make sure that those firearms are really well kept and being protected.
Yeah. So, Your Honor, we're very glad to submit pictures and videos of the weapons, so you can see that.
So right now you cannot submit to us the serial numbers of those firearms. It's not stored in any database because you said it's confidential unless both parties agree to divulge those kind of information to us, to the Filipino people. Is that what you're saying, sir?
That is correct, Your Honor.
Okay. Then,
With the
Mr. Chair.
permission of
Yes, with
Senator
the permission
Tulfo.
of Senator Tulfo.
yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
Yes, with the permission of Senator Tulfo. Republic Act 10591, referred to as the Comprehensive Firearms and Ammunition Regulations Act, mandates all government agencies, military and law enforcement organizations, LGUs, and corporations owned and controlled by the government provide the PNP with an inventory of all the weapons and ammunition they possess. Why is it, therefore, that the 4,625 decommissioned firearms are not included in said inventory? And as stated, you are bound by your mandates to keep these records confidential. Bakit ganon? Labag ito sa batas ng Pilipino. So, ibig sabihin, yung mga nag-surrender na MILF, hindi sakop ng batas ng ating bansa. Parang mali naman yata to. Panloloko naman yata ng bansang Pilipino to. Bakit hindi sila tatalima sa batas na ang bawat mamayan ang kinakailangan sumunod?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, can I add to the point of
Yes,
Senator
Senator
Imee?
Bato.
Mr. Chair, I don't know if there's a conflict between what is the existing law that our resource person is talking about, if it runs in conflict with the firearms comprehensive law. I don't know. We have to study on that because maybe, I'm sure, the ones who formulated this law ay talagang inobserba itong firearms, the existence of the firearms comprehensive firearms law. So titingnan natin siguro, Mr. Chair, kung saan ang conflict dito.
Yes, I'd just like to follow up. Having gone through the papers submitted, ang hinahanap ko po, sinasabi ninyo yung annex for normalization. What is the written basis, the legal basis for the number of 40,000 MILF combatants and the legal basis of the 7,000 firearms? Meron bang legal basis yan? Kasi hinahanap ko rito, sabi annex. Asan yung annex? Nasa annex lang ng normalization. Yun ang sinasabi ninyo. Pero wala naman dun sa annex nakatakda yung 40 at saka 70,000. Anong basehan natin ng lahat niyan?
Madam Chair, sir.
Yes, please.
Yes. Your Honors, we have the basis, which is basically the written letter of Chair Minister Murad to President Aquino dated 2010. We can submit it to
And
you.
in the letter, it's indicated the 40,000
Yes,
combatants
Your Honor.
and the 7,000.
Yes, Your Honor.
And a mere letter is now considered law that supersedes all existing firearms and ammunition codes recognized here in the territory of the Republic of the Philippines. Is that correct?
No, Your Honor.
It's a mere letter, sir.
Yes,
I have
but
never heard of a mere letter overturning our entire construct of firearms and ammunition law.
the comprehensive agreement was written 2014.
I'm aware. It went through 2014, 2015, and finally 2019.
Yes,
Pero hinahanap ko yung legal basis po ninyo. Saan ba galing yan? Kasi hanggang ngayon, ang sinasabi, wala namang listahang binibigay sa gobyerno kahit kailan nitong 40,000. Tama ba yun? Wala ba talagang listahan ng mga combatants na 40,000 na ginawa nating target?
The submission of the combatants is in a gradual.
I understand po it's in phases,
In phases.
and we are now in the third phase. That's
The fourth final phase.
fourth and final phase, which is fully explained. Pero sino nagbigay ng listahan na yan? Kasi nagtataka ang marami, kanya-kanyang MILF. And some MILF are more equal than others. Is that true?
The list is being signed by the implementing panel of the MILF.
But these are foreigners.
No,
Certainly,
no.
they derive the information from somewhere else, locally.
The implementing panel, Your Honors, are full. They are MILF and the GPH implementing panel. It is-
Senator Tulfo, is the list of 40,000 combatants also confidential?
Your
Or
Honor,
are we privy to that list?
Your Honor, the process of the submission of the.
We're aware there is a process. I'm looking for names, sir. These are what the local officials, the local combatants, the local decommissioned officers are looking for. Nobody understands your list, sir.
We can provide the list if needed, Your Honors. It is located in our data.
Yes, in your list, do we have data
Yes, Your Honor.
explaining which base commands they belong to?
Yes, Your Honor.
They're identified,
Yes, Your Honor.
their rank, their role and purpose, and the base command to which they report. Kompleto po ba yun?
Can I refer you to the chair of the decommissioning body, because they're the one who provided the validations and the verification.
Mr. Chair, Your Honor, when we receive and decommission the combatant, we take in information on the combatant, as you mentioned now. We categorize some of it as not sensitive information, that will be name, address, birth of date, and so on. And then there are some information that are sensitive, we call guerrilla information. That might be the base command, rank, such information. So the first part, the non-sensitive, we transfer over to the TFDCC and DSWD, which they have. The second part, the more sensitive information, the guerrilla information, is for us to keep confidential for now. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. However, the concern is that whereas around 26,000 combatants are supposedly decommissioned, the base commands have not been dismantled. Until today, the MILF continues to operate these base commands, all 6 of them. We have also spent a great deal of money, I believe upwards of 600 million pesos, on the Joint Task Forces on Camps Transformation. What exactly is going on with these camps? And why is it that with all these 26,000, wala pa rin, buo pa rin ang mga kampo ng MILF?
Your Honor, because of the pandemic, we were derailed by 3 years. That's why last year
Pero nasa phase 4 na po kayo, patapos na po to.
there is a different some sort of process on the transformation of camps.
But you therefore make the admission that the MILF base camps are intact and in operation without any transformation having been undertaken. Is that correct?
No, Your Honor, there is already transformation in some effect.
What exactly has been transformed? We see them exactly as they were before.
For example, in Camp Bilal, we have seen a lot of transformation.
Can you please be specific, sir?
So we have already converted the 300 hectares into some sort of a village, wherein we will.
It was a village before.
No, ma'am. It's a camp. It's a Camp Bilal.
Yes, but civilians were living in that camp. There were
Yes,
children
yes,
and
Your
mothers as well.
Yes, Your Honor. But right now,
So what was transformed? It's exactly in the same position.
in 2019, Madam, when I visited Camp Bilal, all of them are armed to teeth, meaning from the highway going to their area. Even MP Bravo, member of the Parliament Bravo, is always armed to teeth. But right now, when I come to Camp Bilal, most of them are wearing civilian, Madam, and they are very amiable. At the same time, they
Are
are
we
already.
now to read a change of costume as a transformation, sir? I think that is a very token and gratuitous piece of information.
Madam, during those times when we are visiting the camps, even in 2014 up to 2019, you can see a lot of firearms there. But right now, we visited many camps. You cannot see any firearms they are brandishing. Meaning that there is already a change of mindset, wherein the normal combatants that they are holding firearms every time that they go, we never see that anymore.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
follow-up question. So, with the indulgence of Senator
Yes,
Imee.
Senator Tulfo.
Ito po galing sa military na kausap ko last night. And maybe Mr. Hoblan would like to answer this question or kung mag-answer dito. Because during the last hearing, you did mention that there were combatants who surrendered, but they weren't able to surrender their firearms because they said it's personal, it's for personal use. Ngayon kung personal use yun, chinek niyo ba yung serial number to make sure na yun ay license? May LTAP?
Yung po ang next na proseso po, Your Honors, because yung po natin, yung decommission of the combatants, there is a separate process. So yung po natin, we never term them surrender. We term them decommission.
Kaya nga po sir, kasi when they came to the government
Yeah.
to get that 100,000 cash allowance, supposed to be they should be turning over their firearms. But they did not because sabi nga, meron akong baril dito, personal use ko ito. So kung personal use mo yan, dapat may permit yan. Chinek mo ba yung mga, andun na rin lang siya hawak-hawak yung baril niya. So sana kinuha niya yung serial number, pinicturan, and then gumawa kayo ng cross-check sa ating PNP, FEO, Firearms and Explosive Office, para masiguro na yun ay lisensyado, para masiguro din na hindi magamit yun kung saan sa amang purpose.
Yes, sir. Actually, sir, yun ang proseso po natin, sir, na initially yung sa decommission of combatants is separating na yung pagka nag-proseso po tayo ng decommission of combatants, we gave the 100,000 for the purpose of the socio-economic, not for the purpose of turning up the firearms. Hindi po yun naman po. Ang ano po natin po is meron tayong proseso din ng decommissioning ng agreed 7,000. Yun po ang ginagawa po natin. And then later on, there is kung makikita niyo po yung sa aming yung we have still a lot of programs in parallel with the decommissioning of firearms. Number one is yung all small arms and light weapons management. Ito po yung sinasabi natin na i-stencil po natin, isa-isa po yung lahat po na yun.
Mentioned to me yesterday, nung pumunta ko sa office ko, tinanong ko what kind of firearms ang mga na-surrender. Sabi niyo po sa akin, carbine, may mga carbine, may mga garan,
M16.
M16, meron pang Thompson.
Comport.
Diba pang tough gulang po yun? Alam ko yung MLF, they're well financed and they have modern weaponries.
Yung Thompson, sir, konti lang po talaga yun.
Thompson. So ibig sabihin may mga MLF na Thompson na ginagamit. Ano po yung diplato?
Sir, actually, sir, kasi makita natin, 1976 po kasi yung ibang mga combatants natin.
Oh.
Those were the firearms that they are
Meron din pong carbine.
Yes, sir, ganun po.
Di ba yung carbine? Panahon pa natin ng hook balahap yun. Oh, but anyway, may carbine. So siguro po sa next hearing, give us a list of those firearms. Sabi nga ni Senator Imee, siyempre, kung ano man yung agreement meron between the decommission body and other groups, well, that should not supersede the law of the land of the Republic. So you should be wary about that. So next hearing, you should provide us with that information that Senator Imee was asking, kahit na sa executive session man lang.
Yes, sir, we will provide, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Now, dalawang question ng Senator Imee. December 31, 2022, kasi binanggit sa akin kahapon yung Commission on Audit. Sabi mo, very strict ang Commission on Audit nga. Kayo talagang binabantayan. So, agad-agad na-check po ako sa Commission on Audit. Meron pong 4.2 billion na audit suspension, and then 51.8 million disallowance. So pag sinabing disallowance, pinasusoli po. So, unahin po natin dun sa disallowance. Ano po itong 51 million na pinasosoli po ng Commission Audit?
51 million po nito, sir. Na-explain na po namin to sa COA na ang remaining balance lang po is more or less 8 million.
Na-explain.
Na po yun. Kung magkasano po.
Naisoli na po.
Naisoli na po yun.
Eight
Then
na po.
yung 4 billion po yun, sir, is yung po yung previous pamana project po, hindi po sa amin po yun panahon namin during the previous sir.
Pero were you able to explain it properly to the Commission Audit?
Actually, sir, we were able to expedite yung compliance with the auditor. So ito pong
So, sorry, sir. So, parang tayo mamalito. So, nasolid ng iba dun sa 51 million mo na 51.8. Nasolid na po yung iba, yung meron pang 4 million di pa nasusoli.
yes, sir, meron pa po tayong proseso na
Bakit po hindi nasoli na lang ang buo?
binabayaran po ng sir ng mga tinatawag nating yung mga SDOs na meron pong accountability.
Pwede po paki-explain ano po yung 51 million na pinasosoli? Bakit po pinasoli?
Ito po yung po, sir, nung previous administration po namin, sir, na kaya
Before you.
Opo, before po sa akin po yun po, sir. Actually nung po yun, 2017, 2018, 2019.
Same thing with this 4.2 billion.
Yes po. Wala pa po ako po nung po yun, 2018, 2017 po yun.
Siguro, Mr. Chair, sa next hearing, patawag natin yung
Actually, we already, marami po na kami pong ipinasa po sa Ombudsman pertaining that matter po, sir.
so meron na pong kaso.
Opo, may mga kaso
And
po.
may we know who are these people na pinahil ng kaso sa Ombudsman? And what happened to the
yung
case?
previous ex-com po at saka back member po ng
Can we get the names?
we will give it to you, Your Honor.
And then, gusto namin malaman yung status ng kaso. sa
Yes, Your
Ombudsman.
Honor.
So, ongoing po ito.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ilan po yung nakasuhan dito sa 51 million?
Bali po yung may mga seven charges po kami na naibigay sa Ombudsman, and we will give you the details po, Your Honor.
Kasama ho ba dito yung pinalitan nyo na secretary?
Yung mga ex-com members po.
Execom lang.
Opo.
Okay. Okay. Doon po sa 4.2 billion, sabi niyo po before your term pa ito.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Sabi po dito sa record ng Commission on Audit, ito yung mga was it computer? And then yung mga pinabigay nyo sa mga non-government organization, people's organization.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ba't po binigyan natin ng pera yung mga NGOs?
That's why during my term, we already removed all this ng mga NGOs po. So ang
Okay.
ginawa po namin immediately, we
Kaya
terminated
nga po, bakit po binigyan ng pera ang mga NGOs at saka mga people's organization?
because they're the one also implementing some of the programs sa ating
Ano pong klase mga programs po yun, sir?
normally, sir, I will give you the details. The
Okay.
details.
Kasi sir, that's
Because
4.2 billion, that's a lot of money para ipamigay po natin sa NGOs. And then, can we know ano po yung mga NGOs na yun? Can you identify to us?
We will submit the report.
Okay. At maging po yung people's organization. Ano po itong people's organization? First time ko lang napakinggan to. POs? What are these POs, sir?
We will find out, sir. Maybe.
Yes, sir. Give us a list of the NGOs and then the POs who've been a recipient of this 4.2 billion because this is a lot of money and this has to be accounted for. That's why you got a suspension from the Commission on Audit.
Yes, sir.
Hindi ko sana na-discover po to kung hindi binanggit sa akin yesterday na sabi nyo mahigpit sa inyong Commission on Audit. So chinek po namin yung Commission on Audit and bingo, ito po yung nakita namin.
Yes, sir.
So provide us with all these documents, so Mr. Chair. And then siguro patawag din natin yung mga previous execoms na nakaupo para pa-imbestigahan natin itong 51 million and 4.2 billion.
Yes, the COMSEC is instructed to do so.
Yan na muna, Mr. Chair.
Meron pa?
Mamaya na muna, Mr. Chair.
Kung walang magtatanong tungkol pa rin sa baril, matapos lang yung subject ng baril, okay lang ba?
Alright, yes.
Okay lang ba? Para matapos lang yung subject ng baril, ano po? Dahil kasi nung last time, at nasa briefer po ninyo, you stated that the weapons not deemed functional by the IDB will not be considered as official decommissioned weapons. If that is the case, why did you consider the 4,625 surrendered firearms as official decommissioned weapons, having stated that they were already unserviceable and in rusty condition?
Madam, they're all serviceable.
So you're saying now that in fact they're all serviceable. The transcript indicates that you had agreed that they were unserviceable and rusty. So that is no longer the case. Is that correct?
Yes, madam. Yung lahat po na na-turnover sa IDP po, madam,
Are all serviceable.
All serviceable. Yung mga itinatanggal po na hindi po sinasama po doon.
So
Kaya po
so there is a mistake therefore in the transcript. Mr. Hobland is nodding his head as well. Maybe know the status. I think you've said something about it earlier. What is the status of the 4,625 decommissioned weapons? Since you are saying that they're still serviceable, you also mentioned that they are temporarily stored in Camp Abu Bakar.
Yes, madam.
How long have they been stored there? 5 years na po to. Bakit 5 years temporary pa rin ang storage dyan sa Camp Abu Bakar?
That's the request that we are asking for the implementing panel to immediately put for the disposal of these firearms, and we are now undergoing the process. Your
Ang
Honor.
bagal naman po. 5 taon, nandun pa rin temporary storage.
Yes, madam. Bali po kasi yung sa proseso po ng na napag-agrihan po kasi, madam, is we will finish first the phase 4 of the decommissioning before all the firearms will be put beyond use.
Pwede lang ipaliwanag, 3 uri ng pagsusurrender ng firearms ang binabanggit natin. Tama po ba? So unang-una, itong decommissioned firearms.
Yes, madam.
That you said were organic to the organization of the MILF. Yung ikalawang uri ng baril, ang sinasabi ninyo, andito naman ito sa Salwe. Ibig sabihin, yung Small Arms
Arms.
and Light Weapons Program.
Yes.
Ito na yung privately owned by the MILF. Ngayon, ano na nangyari dito? Kasi ang alam ko, ito yung magaganda. Ito yung maaayos at talagang matitinding mga baril.
We are still in the process of the SAL WN through the
Teka muna, sabi ninyo, lahat ng privately owned irerehistro dyan sa Small Arms and Light Weapons. Kayo rin nag-report na, ito yung submission ninyo. Binabase ko lang sa binigay ninyo sa amin.
Yes, madam, ang ginagawa po namin dito po sa sa small arms and light weapons, it is being localized at the province, madam.
So asan sila, saan nangyari yan? Kasi wala pa nakakabalita. Tinanong ko lahat ng mayor at governor, walang nakakaalam.
In Basilan, we were able to register 4,500 firearms, madam.
Miski si Governor Jim nagre-reklamo sa kabagalan din ng ating decommissioning. So parang wala pa rin yung small firearms na yan. Meron na ba?
Madam, yung sa po, kaya po ngayon, we are now implementing the localized normalization implementation
Oo nga, pero
for the provincial governor to be
as
involved.
late as November, all the governors complained Di po ba? So, yung ikatlo, so 3 klaseng surrender ng baril yan, tama po ba? Unang-una, yung decommission proper, MILF organic guns. Ikalawa, yung mga baril na sariling pag-aari ng mga MILF combatants, small arms and light weapons na napakalabo pa unless you're able to report to us these supposedly pilot areas. Ikatlo, yung balik baril. Tama? Lahat yan ini-implement ba sa BARM? Kasi may balik baril rin na binabanggit dito na mas mababa ang halaga at simpleng-simple lang ang proseso. Walang transitional cash grant.
Yung sa balik baril po, sa ano po yun, sa ma'am, sa CPP&PA po natin na ini-implement. Wala po sa ano.
So, wala yan sa BARM.
Wala po.
Kasi nabanggit rin dito na naiiba ito sa balik baril. So, walang balik baril whatsoever sa buong BARM area. Tama po ba?
It is not under po yan. Yung
Can we please clarify? Kasi yung ibang nag-surrender ng baril, ang sinabi sa kanila, balik baril lang kayo, hindi kayo kasali dito sa 100,000.
Yes po, doon po sa 40,000 na combatants, meron po tayong 7,000 na organizationally owned firearms na for the MILF. Kasi 3 po yung category ng firearms na
Kaya nga tinatanong ko, kasi napakalabo po, pati mismo yung decommissioned combatants, baka naman na nabubukulan na yung mga yan. Dahil sinasabi sa kanila, balik baril lang kayo, hindi pa kayo kasali. O kaya yung sa small arms lang kayo, hindi pa kayo kasali. Paano ba talaga?
po sa 2 kategory ng baril na hindi kasama po sa decommissioning. Ito po yung individually owned firearms. Ito po yung i-address po sa SALW program. Na
So inaamin po ninyo na wala pa. Etong privately owned firearms, nakakalat pa rin yan sa buong BARM kasi wala pa.
We started po yung SALW program last year po, nung last quarter, and we pilot that in Basilan po.
So nakailam na po ang na-surrender o na-rehistro?
We already have around more than 4,000 stenciled firearms for the SALW program po.
Are you able to register them under the PNP as Senator Bato and I well know?
Yes,
O
ma'am.
confidential rin yan?
The AFP and the PNP in Basilan are involved in this LNI program po.
So it's more or less looks like a regular gun registration effort. As
Yes
we
po.
know it.
Yes po. And we'll be doing that similar program in some other provinces of the BARM.
So nakaka 4,000 na kayo.
Yes po.
So you're saying may 4,600 sa decommissioned organic MILF plus another 4,000 na privately owned. Tama ba yun?
Yes, ma'am. Sa Basilan po, ma'am, nakapagano po tayo. Even yung sa transformation ng MNLF, nakagawa na rin po tayo ng stenciling. So for the Basilan, considering ito ang naging pilot namin, and then we will be having sa Lanao del Norte and Lanao del Sur next. Ang naano po natin sa Basilan is more or less 4,500. Doon sa MNLF po, meron po na tayo na stencil na 1,800 na po.
Nakangiti na si Senator Tulfo. Parang marami na tayong baril. Pwede bang mag-report kayo niyan?
Kaya nga, Senator Amy, isang follow-up question na. Ano pong guarantee may bibigyan nyo sa amin na ito mga na-surrender na firearms, 4,000 something, ay hindi po na-recycle? Kasi sabi nyo kasi confidential, kaya lalo ako nagdududa ngayon.
Kung sa ano po, hindi po talaga ma-recycle dahil kasi yung pong yung na-decommission po na 4,600 firearms. Nakalocate po sa mga tinatawag nating mga van, mga talagang
Pero nga po, how secured are those weapons?
they are very secured, Your Honor. Actually, it is being inspected.
Kaya po sa susunod na hearing, kahit kung gusto nyo confidential, executive session tayo, para makita namin
Yes,
na talagang secured yung mga baril na yon.
Yes, Your Honor.
That's why.
Maybe we can also invite your staff to be there.
And then can you start the process disregarding yung sabi may pag-uusap confidential? I'm not gonna listen to him because
Actually,
we're
sir,
talking about the law of the land, like what Senator Amy did mention. Yung pong mga baril na sinorender, I want it put in a database
Yes,
which will be accessible to the PNP, the AFP, and then the NBI.
yes, Your Honor.
Okay? Well, no more confidentiality here. I don't want it to be confidential. Kasi meron nga binanggit Senator Amy na batas natin. So, mababaliwala po yung mandate ni Mr. Hoblan at kung sino pa yung mga kasama niya, Mr. Hoblan et al. Mababaliwala po yun.
Yes,
So
sir.
therefore, during sa next hearing, you start giving us a list, serial numbers of those 4,000 weapons,
Yes.
4,000 or more weapons. And then I want that accessible by the for the AFP, PNP, and NBI.
Yes, Your Honor. For your information, sir, yung pong temporary storage po nun is being guarded by the 1st Marine Brigade.
Okay? Okay ako dyan?
1st Marine Brigade.
Okay. Pero again, sir, dapat yun po ay naka-register.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Lahat yun. And then with pictures and all.
yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Wala pa ho ba kayo nababalitaan na yung mga baril na nandun sa loob ay
Wala po,
Okay,
Your Honor, kasi po talagang sir, yun, well maintained by the BMAT. Nandun rin po yung po natin yung JPST. Yung JPST po natin, yung Joint Peace and Security Teams, meron pong military doon, may PNP at saka meron pong MILF.
Okay.
Sila po ang nagbabantay po ng sasa.
Isang tanong lang, doon pa ako curious, yung Tommy gun, Thompson, Carbine, and Garand. Meron pa bang ganun baril ng mga MILF? Alam ko.
Sir, maliliit na porsyento po yung actual listen. Maliliit na porsyento.
Kasi baka naman po yan ay kung saan nang pinulot yan para makolekta ng 100,000. And then, what guarantee do we have na yung 100,000 na ibinigay natin, ibibilin ulit nilang panibagong baril? Kasi, di ba, meron silang baril. For personal use ko to, hindi ko to surrender. However, you give me 100,000 kasi kasama doon sa usapan. Then, what is the guarantee na yung 100,000 hindi niya bibili ng another baril, dadalawa ng baril niya?
Sir, there is a monitoring we have a body monitoring the
How can you monitor 26,000 combatants, sir?
actually, sir, meron tayong proseso, sir, na yung mga campus, sir, minomonitor natin, always visit them. Maybe we can-
Monitoring the firearms, sir. What I'm saying. Kasi, di ba, marami sa kanila, mga ilan po doon sa tansya ninyo, yung bang tumanggap ng 100,000 pero hindi niya tinan over yung kanyang baril. Mga ilan po sila, dahil sinabi niya, personal use niya yun. Ilan po yun? How many are they? Approximately, more or less.
Doon po sa mga may personal po, wala po kaming record doon because we are still undergoing po yung proseso ng inventory din ng mga
Pero
personal.
dapat meron na kayong record nun kasi tumanggap na sila 100,000, di ba? Every time na nabibigyan sila 100,000, may katapat dapat na baril. Kung minsan yung iba walang katapat na baril pero nag-explain nga lang na wala akong surrender na baril sapagkat meron yung baril kong ito ay for personal use. So dapat po i-register yung baril na for personal use. At yung tanong ko ang kanina, so anong guarantee doon sa meron siya personal use niya nabigyan ng 100,000, na yung 100,000 bibili niya ng panibagong baril, so dadalawa ng baril niya, lalong dumami yung baril sa
Sir,
area.
let me clarify yung first na concern nyo sir regarding po doon sa mga baril. Doon po sa decommissioning ng combatants, separate po yung decommissioning ng firearms ko. So hindi po ina-attribute yung mga baril na sinurrender in its state sa mga combatants po. On the second concern sir, yung sa binigyan ng 100,000 po, meron po kaming mga DSWD hired staff to conduct yung sila po yung case managers na sila po yung nag-oversee, sila po yung bumabalik doon sa mga nabigyan ng 100,000 on how they spend po yung 100,000. So meron po tayong mga hired na DSWD staff na bumabalik po doon sa mga combatants para to look for their welfare din po.
So monitor.
Yes po.
Okay. Now, doon sa mga combatants nagsabi, may baril ako, personal use ko to, hindi ko ito surrender. Kanina, hindi niyo pa nasagot sa akin, may mga LTAP po ba ito? Na-check niyo kung meron sila mga LTAP? Mga ito?
Yes, kaya po meron po tayong SALW program dahil po doon sa mayroong gustong mag-register ng mga baril, ino-offer po namin yung dapat meron silang LTAP para ma-register po nila yung mga baril. So we've been doing some information campaign po doon sa mga combatants na gustong apply po ng registration ng kanilang mga baril po.
Okay. So, just make sure, sir, na yung mga nabibigay na pera sa mga combatants ay hindi nila mabibili ng baril.
Yes, Your Honor.
So, sabi niyo nga mayroong monitoring.
Apo.
So, bigyan niyo kami ng records ng monitoring kung anong klaseng sistema in place, sabi niyo from the DSWD, because I don't think the DSWD is capable of doing monitoring, samantalang wala naman sila experience pagdating sa military, pagdating sa mga combatants. and wala si Sabarm dito, malayo sila. So I don't think that they're the ones capable of doing that monitoring that you're telling me now, sir.
Sir, doon po sa na-transfer naming pera sa DSWD, kasama po doon sa MOA, meron po kaming pera for the admin cost na nag-hire sila ng mga staff to conduct all this process po, yung pagmo-monitor sa mga
Kaya nga po, ang interested po ako, sorry sir kung para makulit na ako sa inyo, yung masiguro na yung 100,000 na naibigay sa mga combatants ay hindi nila bibilin ng baril.
Yes,
Na-
Your Honor.
Opo, ano nga pong klaseng monitoring system meron tayo?
Sir,
At meron ho ba silang pinipirmahan na dokumento na itong 100,000 na ito, gagamitin ko to sa pangkubuhayan o bibili ako ng mga pagkain o pang tuition ng mga anak ko, etc. Meron ho bang ganun dokumento pinipirmahan na ako ay nanunumpa na hindi ko ibibili ito ng baril, hindi ako bibili ng granada, etc.
sir, yung sa ano sir natin sir, nakita po namin sir yung sa lahat ng namin na mga combatants. We saw that there is a great transformation sa mga combatants. And ang ano namin sir ngayon, kaya nga parang ginawa po namin para mas matalagang holistic yung ma-address yung ano nga ng mga governors, yung monitoring. Ang ginawa po namin, in-involve namin po sila, pati po yung security sector, yung AP tsaka police. That's why yung sa LNI po, yung localization o normalization, nakausap na po si Gov. Bombit at saka po yung administrator ng Lanao del Norte. Yung po ang gagawin po natin na talagang holistic na po yung pagtingin natin po natin dun sa mga
Wala po silang pinipirman dokumento na nanunumpa na hindi nila bibilhin ng baril o kung anumang klaseng armas.
maybe have the Yusek Tanhusay from the DSWD.
Magandang umaga po. Paumanhin ang pinapaabot ni Secretary Gatchalian. Nais po niyang dumalos ngayong umaga, subalit siya po ay pinatawag sa cabinet meeting ngayong umaga. Ang papel po ng DSWD ay kami po ang kumbaga ay paymaster sa mga decommissioned combatant. Matapos po sila ma-verify, ma-identify kung sino yung mga beneficiaryo, matapos po ng proseso ng IDB, dadaan po sila sa proseso ng DSWD. Doon po sa proseso ng DSWD, kinukunan po namin sila ng kanilang biometrics, kinukunan po sila ng picture para yun ang gagawing ID at re-record po namin sa aming braid system. Pero bago po makareceive ng actual cash, meron pong counseling na bahagi bago makatanggap ng 100,000. At doon, pinapayuhan po namin yung mga combatants kung paano gagastusin ang 100,000 pesos na ito. At pagkatapos po ng makatanggap ng cash assistance, ay later on, ay iboboritor nga ho namin sila sa kanilang mga probinsya, municipality kung nasaan sila. Pero very limited po yung capacity ng DSWD to monitor them.
Yun nga po sinasabi ko, sorry sir pero wala kayong capability at saka wala kayong experience and you don't have that kind of expertise to monitor combatants to make sure na sila po yung nagbagong buhay na out of that 100,000 na binigay sa kanila, yan ay gagamitin sa maayos and hindi po sa hindi magandang paraan. So, ikaw na mismo nag-amin. So, wala ho ba kayo nakitang document doon na imbis na payuhan nyo siya, dapat meron silang pinipirmahan. Na itong 100,000 na ito, hindi ko ibibili ito ng baril, hindi ko ibibili ito ng granada, M203, etc. Dapat may ganong dokumento para kung sakali man sila naligaw ng landas ulit, meron tayong pinanghawakan against them. Now we can even bring it to court or maybe pwede natin hingan silang refund dahil hindi natupad yung pangako o kumpiskahin yung binili nilang baril. Kahit na yan ay pinalisensya na nila.
Yes.
Naiintindihan po ako?
Yes sir, naintindihan ko po.
Sige, go ahead po sir.
Wala pong dokumento, Your Honor, na
Bakit po wala?
ang napagkasunduan po sa taas.
Kasi malaking pera po, 100,000 po yan. Buti sana kung 1,000 lang.
Opo, ang naghihintay lamang po kami ng instructions kung anong ibibigay ng IDB o ng mga panels, kung ano pong ibibigay sa amin na gawin namin yun lamang po. Pero wala pong binibigay sa amin na assignment o role o dokumento na dapat itong ibibigay namin. Ang binigay lang po sa amin tasking ng task force ay kunin ang kanilang mga personal data, ang kanilang ID at papipirmahin po namin sila ng payroll at ng acknowledgement receipt na nagpapatunay na yung 100,000 ay natanggap na nila.
So it is not within your mandate to monitor kung talagang sila ay nagbalik loob, kung talagang saan nila ginastos yung pera na binigay ng DSWD. You're just orienting them?
Yes sir, orienting them kasi unang-una wala po kaming capacity. Wala pa po kaming module to that effect na particular po sa mga MILF combatants po natin. Kasalukuyan pa po namin din-develop ang module to monitoring. Ikalawa, wala po kaming budget sa GAA, sa DSWD. Kami po ay nagre-request pa sa UPAPRO para po makapag-hire kami ng mga monitoring, mga social workers at mga project development officers po natin to do the monitoring.
Ay, si Senator Imee nagde-defend ng budget ng DSWD. Umiikot dito.
Bago lang po, Your Honor, yung aming module na dine-develop at hindi na po kami nakaabot nung budget proposal period. Pero sa 2025, balak po namin ipasok po yun sa budget ng DSWD para makapag-develop po kami ng case management module para sa kanila.
At isa pang problema yan dahil sa pagtatag ng BARM, nagsariling mga department sila. So yung DSWD, maliban sa iilang continuing programs na nakatakda doon, talagang wala na silang presence sa BARM. Yun ang problema pati. Wala silang kaalam-alam, wala silang kakayahan, walang karanasan dito sa pag-debrief ng mga former warriors and combatants, at wala rin silang kakayahan na mag-monitor pagkat wala na silang presence doon May sarili na yung BARM.
Mr. Chair?
Senator Bato.
Yes, Mr. Chair, thank you. Yung DSWD, wala naman kayong pakialam sa kanila, no? Basta pagbigay nyo ng 100,000 pesos, bahala na kayo sa buhay nyo. Wala kayong pakialam sa inyo, di ba?
Meron sir, minsan pag may budget po na ibinaba sa amin ng pa-approve, meron po kaming mga case management.
Kaya nga,
Kamustahan sir.
as far as kung anong gagawin nila sa 100,000, wala na kayong pakialam doon. Basta binigay nyo 100,000 in exchange of their surrendered, yung decommission na firearms.
Yes, Honor. Sinasabihan lang po namin sila na yung 100,000 ay gagamitin po ninyo sa tamang...
Wala,
Ganun lang po.
okay lang yun. Guidelines lang yun. Pero ako naman, kung akong imailip, normal yan, nature namin yan taga Mindanao. We love guns. Mahilig kami sa baril, yung mga taga Mindanao. So, yes, more than our right minsan. Kaya kung bigyan mo ko ng 100,000, wala ka na pakialam doon kung ibili ko yun ng firearms. Basta legal lang na firearms. Di ba? Mindanaoan is have that right to buy firearms as anybody in Filipino. 'Di ba? Basta within the bounds of the law. Basta pasok lang sa comprehensive firearms law yung pagbili ng firearms, 'di ba? Ang importante diyan, legal recorded yung firearms na hawak ng isang individual. So yun ngayon ang challenge ngayon ng ating GRP at saka yung MILF, of course, pati itong independent decommissioning body, kung paano nila masiguro na kung may armas man na naiwan dyan sa mga MILF, walang problema yan, basta legal lang, di ba? They are as qualified, they have the right to possess a firearms, basta nasa batas lang. Wala tayong problema dyan. So yung nga lang sir, gusto kong malaman, yung relationship ninyo ng independent decommissioning body at saka sino bang nasa GRP? Ikaw pa rin? Sinong GRP?
Gerardo.
Sir?
Your Honor, mas maganda po yung pertaining yung anong ginagawa ng MILF after nung 100,000. Maybe we can also
Yes, may
ask
mga dito ng
Ali.
Mr. Chair, can we recognize Mr. Engineer Ali?
Mahurin Ali.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Yes, Mr. Chair, magandang umaga po. And assalamualaikum po sa lahat. Direct na lang po ako, Mr. Chair, dun sa katanungan regarding the engagement kung paano ma-assure na yung binibigay po na 100,000 ay hindi ho gagamitin sa pambili ng armas. In fact, dito po sa peace process infrastructure, Mr. Chair, meron po tayong mechanism na in-establish po, marami-rami po yun. Isa po doon yung Task Force on Decommissioned Combatants and their Communities. Yun po ang in charge. Meron po sa aming side and then meron din po sa GPH side na sila ho yung tumututok sa kapakanan po nung nade-decommission na po. At I'm aware din po na nag-uusap po kami sa aking counterpart sa implementing panel na meron hong mga previous re-engagement activities po na ginagawa ang OPA-PRO through the mechanism para mabalikan po lahat yung DCs na na-decommission na for the decommissioning process. So doon po nila nalalaman yung kalagayan ng bawat DC. Ang hindi ko lang po alam ay iilan na kung gaano po karami out of the 26,132 na decommission po yung na-re-engage na po ng through the support po ng OPA-PRO. Yun po yung proseso na meron po sa amin with regards po doon sa pangangalaga po sa lahat po ng nade-decommission combatants po.
Okay.
Thank you po, Mr. Chair.
With the indulgence, Mr. Chair of Senator Bato, dito sa DSWD, kasi kanina, sabi niyo, basta nabigay yung pera, konti monitoring lang, pero alam niyo po yung purpose ng 100,000, di ba? Nakalagay dito. Ang purpose ng 100,000, tatlo lang po. A, for food support. B, non-food support such as hygiene kits, family kits, kitchen kits, sleeping kits, shelter kits. And C, special various needs of vulnerable family members such as children, older persons, persons with disability. Walang na-mention dito na firearms. So, ibig sabihin, bawal ang firearms. Yung 100,000 dapat hindi binibili ng firearms. Very clear dito. Okay? So, kasi kung binili niya ng firearms yan, dapat kumpiskahin yung firearms. Di ba? Kasi hindi sumunod sa patakaran. So inorient nyo sila dito. Kaya ang sinasabi ko, dapat pinapapirma nyo sila para kung dumating yung time na nakita nyo na binili pala ng firearms, pwede nyo silang kasuhan. Yun yung purpose ng sabi ko, dapat may kasulatan at dapat may proper monitoring. Tama?
Was there any instance na yung 100,000 ginamit sa pambili ng baril?
Wala po kaming report on that, Mr. Senator.
Kasi kung pababayaan na natin, bigyan ka 100,000, bahala ka na dyan, dodoble kakalat yung mga firearms sa lugar. Diba? At saka isa pa, dapat talaga doon sa purpose lang ng para sa family. Very clear dito, for family lang ito Wala dito yung baril. So, next time, you make sure siguro,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Secretary Galvez, na meron silang pipirmahan at
Yes.
meron talagang magandang monitoring system na masiguro na yung 100,000 hindi nabibili ng firearms.
Yes, Your Honor. Sir, Your Honor, to make it really very candid, lagi pa kami pupunta sa mga different camps. In fact, yung mga ibang combatants, gusto sila nilang ibenta ang firearms sa amin. Kaya lang sabi ko may proseso tayo na paano natin gagawin to. So kung titingnan natin sir yung firearms nila sir, parang hindi na nila sir ngayon kasi parang nakita nila kasi sa mga anak nila, mas gusto nilang makatapos yung mga anak nila. Mas mayroon pa nga program ang NCMF ngayon na gagawin namin na mas gusto nilang mag-HUDs, bibigyan nila yung firearms. Parang ganoon pa HUDs for firearms. So yung lahat po ng mga tinatawag po natin, Your Honors, yung lahat ng strategy na pwede nating makuha po yung mga illegally possessed firearms ay gagawin po natin. And based dun sa mga consultation namin sa mga MILF, in fact, sa MILF din po, yung mga dating mga kampo na pinupuntahan ko na maraming firearms, sabi ko na saan yung mga firearms, sir, nabahentanan namin sa kasi talagang kailangan namin yung So yun ang ginagawa po natin, kaya po yung localization o normalization, may mga ginagawa pong kaming strategy before na normally yung mga governors po ang
Sila nga nagre-reklamo, sir.
pero sa ngayon po, kaya nga po ma'am, yung reklamo po nila yon ay napaabot sa amin. And kaya gumawa po kami ng
Ang
strategy.
dami pa nilang sulat, 'di ba? Agosto may sulat, Nobyembre
Yes, yes.
may sulat. Lahat ng lahat ng gobernador at lahat ng mayor ng BARM sumusulat na itong decommissioning talagang kalokohan dahil walang may alam kung anong legal basis, hindi alam ang listahan, hindi alam kung saan napupunta yung pera at kung paano ginagamit.
Ina-explain po namin sa kanila, Your Honor. Kaya nga po, they are more than willing to get involved on this process. Kaya nga nagkaroon na po tayo ng localization and normalization.
Okay, sir, isa na lang po. Last.
Yes.
Meron kayong 180 million pesos allocated para sa housing project para sa mga surrenderies?
Yes, Your Honor. Sa Camp Bilal po, meron po tayo 90 million at saka po doon sa Cap Abubakar, 90 million
Ilan
po.
pong units
Ang units po noon ay dahil po kasi ang initial program po natin is 450, pero po napagkasunduan po ng panel na worth 600 po yung kasi ang kailangan po nila may 3 po yung minimum na kwarto kasi sa Musliman po hindi po pwede magsama po yung babae at saka lalaki. So they recommended kasi yung unang po natin housing is 2 lang po, 2 kwarto lang po. Ang ginawa po natin 3. So lumaki po yung budget na 600,000. So ang ginawa po namin, nagtulong po kami ng ni Engineer Muhajirin. Instead na yung kakulangan po namin, for example, yung 124 units po ang maipoproduce ng government. Sila po ang magbibigay ng 100 units. So yung 900 po, yung 180 million po na yon, kulang po yun dahil kasi ang ginawa po nila, nagpuno po sila ng by units. So ang mangyayari po ngayon, yung pondo po na 180 million plus dinagdagan po ng BARM, makakabuo na po tayo sa Cap Bilal na 234 units and then doon sa Cap Abubakar, another 234 units.
Okay, that's on top of the 100,000 na binigay sa
Yes,
kanila
yes, Your Honor.
each.
Yes, Your Honor.
Meron pa kayong tinatawag na cash for work program.
Yung po ang sa DSWD po. Na nakano po.
How is this distributed, Mr. Tanuzay, Yusek Tanuzay?
Yes sir, last December last year nagkaroon po kami ng cash for work program. Binibigay po namin ito sa mga combatants at base ho sa daily minimum wage ng BARM ay binibigay po namin itong cash for work equivalent po sa sa trabaho. For example, ang mga trabaho ay meron pong sewing, food processing, loom weaving, mat production.
Combatants?
Yes sir.
Tinuturuan nyo magtahi yung mga combatants?
Yes sir.
Okay.
Equivalent for
Sewing,
a day's minimum wage.
Sige po. Ano mga trabaho po, sir? Skills? Sewing?
Gardening, tree planting, sandbagging, hollow block making. Yan po.
Sino pong nagbe-bet to make sure na sila ay combatant? Itong binibigay na cash
Base
for
po ito
work?
sa listahan na binibigay ko sa amin ng IDB at ng UPAPRO.
Ilang araw po yung...
In this case, meron po kaming 4 days to 13 days na mga task work program sa mga combatants po natin.
So kayo po mismo nag-abot sa kanila. So sino po nagmo-monitor na talagang ginagawa nila yung kanilang trabaho? Kasi di ba cash for work ito?
Mayroon po kaming mga nakadeploy na mga social workers at sa mga bawat social workers ay binubuo po namin sila bilang mga teams at naka-assign po sila sa iba't ibang lugar. Mayroon po sa Darapanan, Crossing Simuay, sa Cotabato City, sa Rajamuda, sa Piquet, at sa Barangay Tugaig, sa Bararira, Maguindanao. So, ang bawat social workers po natin ay naka-assign sa mga particular na lugar para i-monitor yung cash for work program po natin.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Senator Tulfo. Mabalik ko lang si Engineer Ali. Kanina yung sinabi ko na marami akong yung mga nakausap ko ng mga dating kamiyembro nyo, yung MILF rebel returnees, at nakatanggap nga sila ng 100,000 galing sa DSWD. At pagkatapos nilang tanggapin yung pera na galing sa DSWD, ay kinausap sila ng mga commanders nila at hinihingan sila ng kalahati. So bali 50,000 lang yung napupunta dun sa mga rebel returnees. Anong narinig mo na ba itong mga allegations nito, Engineer?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Yung allegation po na binibigay sa mga decommissioned combatants na minsan ang sinasabi ay kinukuha ng commanders, yun ho yung continuously na binavalidate po namin na Mr. Chair, kasi worried din po kami kung sakaling ganun po ang magiging arrangement. Kasi very clear po sa decommissioning, Mr. Chair, na lahat po ng weapons na ide-decommission ay organizationally owned po, na ide-decommission from MILF. So, hindi po pwedeng pakikialaman po ng mga commanders yung mga in-extend pong intervention, especially yung cash. So we will be very happy po, Mr. Chair, kung ma-provide po kami ng detalye regarding this concern, dahil definitely the leadership of the MILF will not tolerate po yung mga ganong practice, at masasubject po sa disciplinary action yung mga commanders na ganun po yung ginagawa. No? Hindi ko lang ho alam kung to what extent po yung ganong practice, but again, we'll very happy po to receive the report, and then we could also validate it internally within the MILF hierarchy po, Mr. Chair.
I am quite worried dahil pag kinuha yung kalahati ng mga brigade commander doon sa mga combatants, baka ipambili pa na nila ng mga armas ito. Parang gobyerno nang nagbabayad ng pambili ng armas nito mga MILF, and that is quite possible. Am I correct?
As a human being po, Mr. Chair, posible po yung mangyari, hindi ho natin alam, no? But again, we would be very happy to receive the report, and para ma-validate kung sino yung pangalan, sino yung mga tao na yan, and makapag-conduct din po ng investigation internal ng MILF, dahil definitely the leadership will not tolerate po yung practice.
Alam mo, hindi ko rin sila pinaharap dito for fear of their safety. No? Kanina nasa opisina ko nga sila at kinausap ko sila kasama in the presence of Secretary Galvez, and we will give all the information related to their complaints to Secretary Galvez, and I hope you investigate this matter at the soonest possible time.
Thank you po, Mr. Chair. Maraming salamat po.
Yes.
Mr. Chair, nais ko lang balikan yung legality kasi was PA Yano going to talk about the same thing? Sorry.
Yeah, please.
Your Honor, colleagues, good noon. I am the chairman of the implementing panel on the Philippine side, on the government side po. Sa kabila po, kasama ang counterpart ko po doon si Minister Iqbal, who represents the leader of the MILF panel. Ngayon po, I'm glad na nabanggit po nyo yung issue about cut. Totoo po yan, may narinig po ako as panel of the Philippine side. Pero itong bagay po na ito, nabanggit ko po ito kay Minister Iqbal during our private discussion, na may narinig po ako mga bagay-bagay na ganito. But ideally po, wala na po tayong pakialam doon. Pero it affects the integrity of the peace process. Kaya nagka-interest po ako doon.
I agree.
Kaya sinabi ko po sa kanya na, Minister,
Hindi pwedeng walang pakialam dahil pera ng gobyerno ito.
Opo. Kaya nagka-interest po ako doon.
Ng baril para patayan ng sundalo.
Kasi that is not the intent po ng ano. Ngayon, binanggit ko po sa kanya.
Kailangan makialam tayo po dyan. Hindi
Opo.
pwedeng wala tayong pakialam dahil pera ho ng gobyerno yan.
Opo. Ngayon, binanggit ko po sa kanya ito. Ang sabi ko sa kanya na, Minister, may narinig po ako ng ganito. At sinabi po niya sa akin na, yeah, I'm aware about it and I'm addressing this issue. Ginagawa po niya ang paraan po na pinapaabot po niya sa mga commanders po niya. As to the progress po, I really hope na totally matanggal po ito. But it's good na binanggit po niyo ito kasi para talagang ipupush ko pa ito kay Minister Iqbal po. Maraming salamat po.
Kasi I think this might affect the integrity and the effectiveness of the decommissioning process, no? Kaya talaga kailangan natin makialam to. Dahil pera ng gobyerno to, we cannot turn a blind eye here.
Yes, Mr. Chair, and that's precisely where I wanted to go. Since public funds are being very generously used in decommissioning, is there an executive or administrative order that forms the legal basis for allocating funds? Because as we are aware, the amounts are located only in the budget, but there's no organizing law or charter that tells us exactly what to do. Earlier, you told us only a written agreement, i.e. a letter from Chair Murad to then President Pinoy constitutes the legal basis for the decommissioning numbers, which, if I may manifest and put on record, appears to be a moving and movable target. Kasi wala namang pangalan yung 40,000 at saka yung 7,000 weapons by face binibigay sa DSWD, by face binibigay sa decommissioning group. Palit-palit yung pangalan, hindi naman tayo nakakasiguro niyan. Pwede ba yun? Sino mag-a-update nan? Sino mag-a-approve? So yan ang problema. So I'd like to know, dun sa pera naman, at least dun sa pera ng Pilipino meron ba tayong executive or administrative order? Kasi hindi ako makahanap ng kahit isa. Saan ba nang gagaling ang order na yan ang perang ibibigay? Yung 100,000, halimbawa.
We have the existing EO79 on the intercabinet cluster on normal.
Yes, what's the date po?
The data of that it was promulgated during the time of President Duterte, and it was amended, become EO6 in 2022, Your Honor.
I think I'm not entirely sure, but may I have copies of the
We will
date?
submit the
Yes, because there has been some doubt cast as to the efficacy of these EOs today with regard to the public funds being spent, because 100,000 is the transitional cash grant that we know. However, I recall that then Senator Lacson raised the issue that on the part of OPAP naman, may 1 million cash to be given to each combatant. In fact, Senator Lacson then advised you, Secretary Galvez, to clarify with the MILF. And now, a lot of decommissioned MILF are telling us that they are still awaiting that 1 million. Have the implementing panels jointly clarified this? And can you tell us how the cash and non-cash benefits are being doled out, and how are they being accepted and thereafter monitored and evaluated?
Your Honor, the agreement is that there is only 100,000 initial cash assistance. The 1
Ano
million.
yung 1 million ng OPAP? Iba pa yun?
The 1 million that they are saying is a misconception, in a sense that we are saying that in the future they will be also receiving some non-cash assistance in terms of social protection, socio-economic and livelihood program, and other benefits. For the information of the body, considering that the BARM is the highest in poverty incidence, we made some sort of computation on how many social assistance programs that we will be undertaking for the combatants and their families, because most of their families has been for war for almost more than 17 years. So most of them, Your Honor, talagang napakababa po na wala po talaga.
I understand that hindi naman natin tinututulan o pinagkakait ang tulong natin sa mga pamilya ng Barn. Talagang historic
Yes,
injustice po to, kinikilala natin na hindi naman pantay. Ang pagturing sa ating mga kapatid na Muslim mula pa ng siglo, mga ilang siglo na yan na talagang hindi naman pantay. Tama naman yun. Pero tignan naman ninyo yung performance, ang laki-laki ng binibigay. For example, one of the programs in this cash assistance is the construction of rural health units with birthing facilities. May MOA tayo with DOH, 57 million was put in place. Whatever happened to those rural health units? Asan sila?
It was turnover to the different
Maybe have a listing, because many of the LGUs that you are crediting for already operating these RHUs are saying na wala naman doon at hindi daw na turnover.
yung construction po ng tinatawag po natin na mga rural health unit, nagiging multi-year po yung
Yes,
program.
sobrang multi-year, RHU lang yan, napakaliit na yan eh. Ba't naman ay mo multi-year pa yan, pagkaliit-liit lang ng mga yan?
We will submit the listing.
Yeah, because the report on the ground is that they've never been turned over. Similarly, you have a BNTF. Ito pa yung napakagulo ng pera ng ating decommissioning. Dahil yung BNTF, may MTF pa. Katakot-takot na trust fund kung saan-saan nakatago. At mga dollar yan, billion-billion yan. O sige, yung BNTF, launched May 2021. Kayo nag-submit sa akin, no? Ito yung submission ninyo. And total contributions, tallied US dollars 13.225 million. That is several billion in our money. And the following programs were implemented. Yung nabanggit kanina, yung camp transformation, farm to market, and so on. Why is it that after 3 years, only 2 projects, let's say 4 years na to, no? Only 2 projects were identified. And they are saying that these are not fully implemented. They're still about to start this year. Ano ba nangyari dyan sa BNTF? Bakit 4 na taon wala nangyari?
Your Honors, the BNTF is being managed by the World Bank and meron pong steering committee po ito. They are the one doing the decision on where to put the projects for the BNTF. Ang na-identify...
May pera ba ang Pilipino sa BNTF o puro foreigner?
Wala po, ma'am.
So wala tayong pakialam dyan. Kaya sorry na lang kung walang naisa sa tupad kahit isang project.
We are part of the steering committee po. The GPAs and the MILF sit as a steering committee po, and we are the one doing the deliberation on where to put the projects, especially on the 6 acknowledged camps po.
Accomplishment ba yan? Ano yung accomplishment ng MTF? Yung Mindanao Trust Fund, iba pa ba yun? O,
The MTF was just finished in 2022 po, and they have already submitted the completion report just lately po. We can furnish you po the report on that particular project po.
meron pa kayong normalization program. Bakit sinasabi na yung skills development centers, yung nabanggit kanina, nagtuturo tayo, they were built in 6 camps by the Australian funded Philippine Business for Social Progress na nagrereklamo rin. Kasi hanggang ngayon, they're awaiting turnover. Why are they awaiting turnover? Ang tagal-tagal na nito. These are 5.4 billion worth of foreign assisted and other projects. Ano na nangyari rito? Kadami-daming pera, parang wala naman tayo nakikita. Mahirap pa rin sila doon.
We have
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Yes. Yeah, Mr. Chair. To set the information straight as far as the MILF is concerned po, with regards to the funding facility and the Madam Senator mentioned about support of our development partners for the peace process. Yung MTF po, they were implemented since 2006 po, during the time na na-establish din po on the MILF side yung Bangsamoro Development Agency at support po dyan ay ang World Bank until such time nag-end po siya nung 2022. And on our side po, Mr. Chair, sa BARM, being the NEDA of the BARM, the PPDA, pina-inventory na po namin yung lahat po ng support ng World Bank through the World Bank doon po sa mga conflict-affected areas including the 6 acknowledged MILF counts para po makita namin kung nasaan na po yung mga pasilidad na yon at kung functional pa po ba yung iba at kung ano na yung nangyari to date. So meron po kaming effort na ganon and we will be happy to provide the Senate with regards to that undertakings na ginawa namin. On the aspect naman po doon sa BNTF, yan po yung agreed funding facility ng both implementing panel, the Bangsamoro Normalization Trust Fund, na ang namamahala po naman po dyan ay the MILF and the GPH and the MILF is implementing din po as the oversight, and then may steering com and ang fund manager po ay ng World Bank. So ang fund
Yes, we're aware of that. Ang tinatanong ko, ba't walang output? Kahit mga foreigner yan, ano ba, sinurrender na ba natin sa kung sino-sinong panel ang bahagi ng Pilipinas? Ang BARM may bahagi pa rin ng Pilipinas. Bakit puro dayuhan ang naghahari dyan? Sila ang nagsasabi kung saan. Sila magbibigay ng pera. Sila ang bahala kung tatapusin at iti-turn over yung mga project. Ano ba yun?
Mr. Chair, wala pong decision na ginagawa ang World Bank sa BNTF. It's being decided by both the implementing panel from the government and the MILF. Kung ano po yung napag-agrihan na kung saan po gagamitin yung pondo from that funding, yun po yung nangyayari na ini-implement po. Hindi po ang World Bank, Mr. Chair.
Kasasabi lang nung nakaraang hearing na yung World Bank ang nagsasaad. Kaya't nalilito ako, pero ganun pa man ang maliwanag, wala masyadong output yung BNTF. Hindi po ba?
Yeah, as far as the BNTF, dahil nagkaroon po kami ng challenge na kung kailan po na operationalize yung funding facility po.
Naku po, magdidiskusyon pa tayo sa date of operation. Andyan na yung pera at nag-iintay na yung mga tao at mas lalong naghihirap pagka tumataas ang presyo. Mr. Chair, na-check po natin yung binabanggit ni Secretary Galvez, EO 79, 2019, EO 6, 2022, walang nakalagay na 100,000 ang ibibigay sa bawat decommissioned combatant ng MILF. Hinahanap ko pa rin ang legal basis. Nalilito po ako dahil mula dyan sa listahan, wala rin yan, nakasulat lang, walang listahan na maayos. Dito, sa pagbibigay ng pera, walang legal basis. Mukhang karambola ang ating decommissioning effort. Ang sasabihin ko lang, dapat, unang-una, itong mga foreign funded, dapat naka-align sa domestic priorities. Hindi naman daw naka-align. World Bank naman ang nagsasabi. Ang IDF, kung gusto nilang confidential, bahala sila. Paano naman yan? Yung PNP na dapat mag-a-absorb ng lahat ng decommission, wala naman papel, hindi naman kinukonsulta. Ang tanging PNP lang yata na narito si Senator Bato. Abay, ba't ganon? Anong klase to? Kaya't perhaps what we need to do is to draft some kind of law to manage this entire procedure, which looks chaotic and confusing, at least to me, with no clear strategic direction or vision po. It's not their fault. I'm really not blaming anybody. I think it's also because of the accretion of so many efforts. Naging magulo na siya over time. Diba? Kaya siguro balikan natin ang ating minimithi, ang kapayapaan at kaunlaran sa ating mga nahuhuli sa pag-unlad sa Mindanao at balikan natin at aaralin natin kung paano yung maayos na decommissioning, yung maayos na accessioning para hindi magulo.
Thank you, Senator Imee. Secretary Galvez, what is the importance of meeting the 2025 deadline in time for the first BARM elections?
Actually, the holistic approach that we are doing is we will implement most of the programs basically to control the firearms during the election, because the president has given us the directive that the first BARM election should be peaceful and also orderly. So with that, our effort is really to maximize the.
But if you fail to achieve this target, what implications would these have in the first BARM elections?
So we will try to accomplish this, sir.
Yes, but if you fail to reach a target, if you fail to accomplish it, what will happen to the BARM elections? Makagulo ba?
We will ensure that it will be peaceful and relatively peaceful and orderly.
When is the elections? 2025?
2025.
Simultaneous with the...
Yes, Your Honor.
Simultaneous?
Yes, Your Honor. That's why the localization or normalization implementation is very important, considering that it involves also the LGUs, the AP, the PNP, and all the stakeholders involved, Your Honor.
All right.
So that's why we are fast tracking the localization and normalization involving all the governors, the mayors, and even the barangay captains.
Mr. Chair, may I be recognized, Mr. Chair? Deputy Speaker, Attorney Lanang Adjunct.
Yes, you are attorney.
Yes, the Deputy Speaker of the Bangsamoro Parliament.
Magkamag-anak kayo?
Magkapatid.
Magkapatid, okay.
Yes.
Sino mas matanda? Alright.
Yes, Mr. Chair, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. On the part of the Bangsamoro Parliament, particularly on the my left side, the purpose of beating the 2025 decommissioning, because of the mandate from the Chief Minister Ahud Balawag Ibrahim, that all MILF decommissioned combatants from our movement will turn into a social movement, and they were automatically member of the political party known as the United Bangsamoro Justice Party, the UBJP. They will participate on the 2025 elections. I would like to announce on this August body that on February 17, 2024, the UBJP had launched its General Assembly in Cotabato City, invited all the members of the MILF, the commission, as part of this social movement, the UBJP, Mr. Chair. Nakagather po ng more than 26,000 na UBJP members. The MILF is now on the direction of participating the 2025 elections. So, one of the requirements na para maging social movement ang isang MILF ay dapat ay ma-decommission siya. So, we are targeting na 100% by 2025 so that
they can be clothed as a legal personality to participate in the 2025 elections. I would like to announce in this August body na yung MyLF and through the leadership of the Chief Minister Ahod Balawag Ibrahim na talaga po nagpre-prepare po para sa 2025 election. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you, Attorney Ali. Yes,
Mr.
Secretary.
Chair, may isa lang topic lang sana. Isang subject na lang ang natitira, no? Yung Joint Peace and Security Team, nagiging very controversial po. What are the JPSTs? What are their functions? Ano ba yun? At saan nag-umpisa yan? Once again, was there a legal or administrative executive order
Yun po,
instructing us to
Yan po,
create
kasama rin po sa ano natin po sa ating tinatawag na organizational setup for the comprehensive peace process.
issued the organizational setup?
Yan po ay jointly implementing panel. And then-
Yes, but these are merely guidelines, right?
Yes.
They do not have the force of law.
Yes, Your Honor. Pero nakita namin, Madam, ang JPST po talagang maganda po ang naging result niya. Even Colombian experience. They have seen.
Bakit Colombian?
Kasi
Di ba dapat Pilipino?
Ma'am, nagkakaroon po tayo ng tinatawag na exchange of experience with other countries. Nakita nila talaga yung JPST. It's a very unique.
Colombia was struggling with drug cartels. I think we are dealing with an entirely different set of ideologies.
Ma'am, nakita po namin, in our experience, yung nakita po
Teka muna, ipaliwanag mo muna bago mauwi tayo sa Medellin. Pakisabi lang, ano yung JPST at ano talaga ang kanilang function? Paano sila nabuhay? Bakit nagkaroon ng ganyan?
Ma'am, yung ano po natin, yung
Kailan
JP,
ba nag-umpisa yan? At
nag-umpisa po ito, ma'am, nung nagkaroon na po tayo ng ratifications ng BOL.
2019.
Yes, madam.
O, tapos,
And then ito po, it is also
sino ay binubuo nino?
binubuo po ng JPST ng component from the AFP,
Oh.
the PNP, and then also the MILF. Ang composition po ng JPST.
MILF meaning these are decommissioned combatants?
Yes, yung
They're already integrated with certain forces of the PNP. Is that what you're saying?
not yet, madam.
Oh, sabi mo, who are the GPST composed of?
The
Just
JPST,
tell me what the membership is so that I understand better.
the
Yun lang.
composition po ng JPST is AFP, the PNP, and also the MILF.
Ano ng PNP?
Meron po.
Oh, may AFP, tama?
May
Oh,
AFP,
PNP. O,
And then
tapos,
meron pong BIAP yung sa MILF.
anong tawag?
BIAP, Bangsamoro Islamic Armed Forces.
Bangsamoro Islamic.
Yes, madam.
Oo. So,
Ang ano po niyan, it is under the EO79 wherein we have a transitional component of denormalization. So meron po tayong EO79 po diyan.
yes, let's just be careful. You quoted EO79 regarding the 100,000 pesos. It doesn't appear in any corner of that EO. I'm going to check again. Okay, so GPSD, what are their law enforcement functions?
Ang JPST po ay ito po yung kanyang official function. JPST shall have the following functions. The contingent of the AAP, the PNP, and the BIAP shall be organized into JPSTs that will work for the maintenance of peace and order and stability of the areas
Yes,
mutually.
sir, this is very motherhood and apple pie. I mean, we've read this stuff. What specifically do they do vis-a-vis the PNP and the AFP?
Number
How do we ensure that law enforcement functions of the PNP and the AFP are not disrupted and weakened by the additional presence of the GPST?
Number
Do they
one,
not confuse the populace as to who will be the primary peacemaking body?
number one is the tracking and documentation of private armies and other armies.
Alam na po natin yan kabisado na po natin yan. Gusto ko yung specific. Ano yung alignment nila sa PNP at ano naman yung papel ng AFP para maliwanag.
Yung JPST po, ito po yung tinatawag po natin na ito po yung parang peacekeeping force po natin dun
Yes,
sa
I
area.
understand we're all peacekeeping forces, ano? Pero syempre, kanya-kanyang trabaho yan para hindi sapaw. Maliwanag yung PNP, maliwanag yung AFP. Ano naman ito GPSD?
Yung JPST po, nilalagay po natin sa mga tinatawag nating most vulnerable areas. Yung kunyari po, wala pong nakadeploy na AAP tsaka PNP na normally marami pong mga rido. Ibig sabihin po, ito po yung tinatawag natin yung mga contentions pertaining mga areas na mayroong mga land conflict at the same time na nagkakaroon ng tinatawag nating
You're saying these MILF armed forces are equally well trained as the AFP and the
yes,
PNP?
Your Honor. They're being trained all together. Meron po silang joint training, yung AAP, PNP, at saka yung armed forces. And for the information of everybody,
Nakakatakot kasi maraming natatakot at kinakabahan na dun pa sa pinakamagugulong lugar o mahina ang presence ng kapulisan, dun pa ilalagay itong JPSD.
Maganda po ang nakita po namin na resulta. Karamihan po nga po ng mga nandun po sa area, they are requesting for the deployment of the JPSTs.
So what is the end game? What is the ultimate aim? Do we see a future where the GPSTs will finally wind down and
It
only
will-
the PNP and the AFP will be the legitimate armed forces in the
Yes,
area?
yes.
Or are we going to be taken over in the BARM territory by JPSTs?
Yes,
Ano
Your
ba
Honor.
ang plano? Kasi
It
hindi
is,
namin
it is
naintindihan.
transitional, Madam.
Yeah, how long will we transit? If it's anything like the decommissioning
Once
process,
that
it's been 10 years counting and nothing much to show.
in consultation with the security forces, ang ano po ng timeline po natin sa GPST is during this last phase, they will be included in our decommissioning.
Ano ibig sabihin nun? Kasi yung last phase natin, sabi mo, phase 4, matatapos ng 2025,
Yes.
wala nang GPST pagkatapos o bago mag-eleksyon.
Wala na po 'yun, Madam. Pagka once na natapos po natin yung
Kung sabi mo lang maganda eh. Kung maganda, ba tatapusin?
Ma'am, maganda po kasi yung in a sense na yung transitional security arrangement po natin kasi nakikita po natin na very vulnerable din po yung ating armed forces units kung doon po siya nakalagay. Mas maganda po talaga meron pong MILF component para at least the culture, alam po ni Senator Bato, nasa culture doon.
Isn't this undue delegation of Philippine territory to the peacekeeping efforts of another group? Hindi ba dapat PNP and AFP lang? Yun lang alam ko sa buong Republika ng Pilipinas eh.
Yes, Your Honor. Mayroon po kasi tayo ng mga tinatawag na mga areas na nagkakaroon po tayo ng casualty po ang ating AFP at PNP kung sila po yung nakadeploy doon. Kaya ginagawa po natin in order to minimize those unnecessary engagement. Ang ginagawa po natin yung JPST po ang ating inilalagay.
In order to avoid unnecessary engagement,
Yes, Madam.
sa kanila na lang ibigay yung lugar. Parang yata tama po
ang
yun.
nakita po natin, Madam, kasi the mindset of the combatants is very different.
No, I understand, sir. Ang akin na lang, in order to wind this down, because our chairman's very busy as well, and I don't want to occupy and take up even more time, ano ba talaga yung plano? Iwa-wind down ito by May 2025. Tama po ba yun?
Yes, Your Honor, as you have heard the statement of our BTA
No, he was referring to decommissioning. So
Yes,
is
yes,
this
yes.
part of the decommissioning?
Yes, Your Honor, there will be decommission also.
With the permission of Senator Imee, Mr. Chair, with the permission of Senator
Yes,
Imee,
Senator Bato.
nag-start yung organization ng GPAC during my time as the CPNP. And naobserbahan namin yun, napakagandang sit-up ang ginawa. Dahil, yun nga, pag bago sila kinumpos, tinrain muna sila, no? The AAP, PNP at saka yung MILF. At lumalabas pa na sa training, mas magaling pa yung MILF. Mas snappy pa yung MILF pag in-report me, mas magaling pa mag-march sa... There are instances na nagtatap sa training yung MILF. So, yung professionalism ng armed forces ay umaabot doon sa armed forces sa PNP, umaabot sa MILF. So, maganda ang resulta. At maraming instances na merong mga conflict areas na may nangyayaring bakbakan doon, nag-responde yung GPAC, wala kagad, na-resolve kagad ang sitwasyon dahil nga may built-in MILF organic doon sa GPAC. So napakaganda na concept yan, pero wala naman yan, transitory system lang yan. Once completely ma-decommission, mawala na yung GPAC at saka yung kanilang organic ng MILF ay ma-absorb yun ng PNP. May mga systems na yun na nakalagay doon. So maganda yun para bang getting to know each other muna bago sila pumasok sa mainstream organization ng PNP. Napakaganda yun, Madam, Your Honor, Senator
Yes,
Imee.
Senator Ronald, nababalitaan natin na talagang tinatanggap, yakap ng mga tao, yung mga MI na kasama doon sa police at AFP, mas okay nga yun. Kaya nga, nagtataka ko kung anong mangyayari pagkatapos nitong decommissioning. Ma-absorb sila sa AFP at PNP, ganun ba yun? Tapos,
Yes, Madam. Actually, Madam, meron po tayong meron tayong programa which is being espoused by the NAPOLCOM na more than 5,000 po na MLF at MILF po ang
eto na yun ang gagaling sa 26,000 na nag-surrender. Sila pa rin yan? Is that within the list or is that a whole other list?
yung mga karamihan po dyan na galing po doon. Kasi po yung karamihan...
Ako nanghihinayang kasi nag-effort na tayo sa GPST. In most cases, they're welcome. But from time to time, there have been questions that arise. This GPST ba will survive the decommissioning deadlines or are they going to be wound down such that the PNP and AFP only will be the law enforcers in the area? Ano bang plano? That's all we want to know. It's by way of information because nga, maraming success stories at marami naman
Yes, sir.
lugar na sinasabi nag-aabuso o di kaya naguguluhan yung tao kung sino talaga ang mamamahala.
Ma'am,
Dapat may direction lang tayo.
Ma'am, all of these are transitory.
Kaya nga, pero dapat may end goal, di
Yes,
ba?
yes, madam.
What's the end goal?
Ah.
Baka naman pareho na naman ng listahan ng 40,000 na movable feast yan. Talagang moving target. Nakakahilo yan. Dapat maliwanag at lahat tayo nagkakaisa.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, we will submit all the plans that we are, madam. Ang ano po namin talaga is this JPST later on will be transitioned to, some of them will be part of the AEP, some of them will be part of the PNP. In fact, the PNP already established a quota of more or less 5,000, madam.
Yes, because there's some level of anxiety also with the LGUs that the JPSTs will take over. There'll be some kind of a private army. Yung iba naman, gustong-gusto sila. Paliwanag na lamang para lahat panatagang kalooban at tatanggapin ng maigi ang JPST. Maraming salamat po.
Mr. Chair, Madam.
Thank you. Before that, I'd like to acknowledge the presence of Senator Francis Tolentino. Yes, Senator Bato.
Thank you. Sir, JPST, di ba? Joint Peace and Security
Team, JPST.
Team. Hindi pa, GP is T. GP is T. Ang panahon ko siyan. Yung above them. Yung mga teams. So, how many GPST teams we have now on the ground existing, sir?
Maybe we can confirm that process.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, sir. I'm Captain Dimaporo, the representative from the Armed Forces of the Philippines, and we are the one providing for the military personnel in the GPST. So I would like to clarify, sir, that the GPST is composed of 30 personnel. 8 of them are from the Philippine National Police, 7 from the AFP, and 15 from the MILF, the BIAF. And they were 15 from the BIAF, from the
BIAF.
MILF.
15.
8 from, 15 from the AFP and PNP joint.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so they operate jointly, they were trained jointly, and they were deployed. The 24 GPSTs were deployed in the mutually identified areas in the Bangsamoro. So they perform primarily in maintaining the peace and order within the areas identified by both parties. And beyond that, they also perform other duties that are required by the situation. For example, they also help in providing HADR functions. They also help in providing supporting socio-economic activities in the
So right
areas.
now,
Yes, sir.
ilang teams meron tayo?
We have 24 GPST.
20?
24.
24.
Yes, sir.
Where, in what particular areas?
In different areas, that includes Lanao, 4 in Lanao, del Sur and Lanao del Norte, Maguindanao, Basilan, and Cotabato, sir.
Cotabato.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
720 lang yun.
Sir, ma'am?
Mali ba yung dinig ko? Kasi parang nabanggit ni Secretary Galvez yung 4,000. Hindi, 720 lang talaga.
720, sinabi mo?
Yes, sir. That's
Pero
24 times 30.
20 teams.
24 teams, sir,
24
composed of
teams.
30 personnel,
Okay.
a joint tripartite team.
So, ang lifespan niya hanggang
That is expected at the exit of the agreement.
exit of the agreement.
Yes, sir. That would be in the 2025, sir, ma'am.
Sabihin, before or after the election?
I believe, ma'am, because the members of the GPSTs, the MILF joined the GPSTs, are supposedly part of the personnel to be decommissioned before the 2025 election, ma'am. Thank you.
How do you look at it? You are going to demolish them before the election or stay lang sila hanggat may election? Kasi sayang din eh. Kapa na nila yung area, hawak na nila. Tapos kung kailan mag-election, saka ninyo disband.
Sir, I defer to the wisdom of the OPA-PRO on that matter.
Dapat saka na, huwag na nyo, tapusin mo na eleksyon, saka ninyo i-disband. Dahil,
We have here the chairman of the JPC.
yes, sir.
Kaya lahat nalilito eh. Kasi parang walang planong maayos.
Yeah, para klaro, for the record of this committee, malaman natin anong plano ninyo dyan sa GPAC na yan, GPST. Hanggang kailan sila?
Can we allow the chairman?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Go ahead.
Good afternoon, Your Honors. I'm actually Major General Francisco Ariel A. Felicidario, retired. I'm the former Special Operations Commander of the Armed Forces of the Philippines, and now I'm the chairman of the Joint Felicidario, sir.
Huh?
Felicidario, sir.
Army,
Felicidario, Army, sir.
class
89, sir.
89.
Yes, sir.
Nabutan ba kita?
Yes, sir.
Oh, sige.
Sincerely, sir.
Sige.
Yes, sir. Just to explain, sir, there's a transition plan for them. I guess the good that they're doing in the community, everyone knows that already. There's a transition plan for them. The agreement is they'll be the last one to decommission whenever that is. So if it's 2025 is the end of the decommissioning, then they'll be the last members of the MILF to be decommissioned. As for the transition plan, we already have put forth a proposal to the panels for their approval that they will be transitioned. Some of them are being trained to be Army if qualified. Their team leaders, the Army team leaders, are evaluating their performance, whether they can be recommended to be absorbed by the armed forces. Some of them, if will qualify the minimum qualification set by the PNP, they will be recommended by my committee, the Joint Peace and Security Committee, together with Senior Minister Bon Alhac, is my co-chair. They'll be recommended for entry to the PNP. Some of them will try to find job opportunities for some of them that won't be absorbed by either the Army or the PNP. We'll have livelihood trainings for them before they are finally decommissioned. So there's a transition plan in place, sir. Rest assured that the transition plan is complete. It's a whole process entirely for the JPST, at least the BF. For the APPNP, they'll also transition back to APPNP. We have their plans for them also. Thank
So
you, Your Honor.
these teams are reporting to whom?
To me and Senior Minister Bon Alhac, sir.
So what is the relationship with the territorial forces in the area?
It's coordinative in nature, sir. But during operations, they cannot join as far as tactical and offensive is concerned. They are
Correct.
purely defensive.
Correct.
All law enforcement is done through the chief of police of the municipality. They can serve as buffer forces in coordination with the AFP and the PNP always,
So kung
not as a unilateral body.
magkaproblema ang local territorial forces in the area, can they seek the help of GPST?
Yes, sir, but not for offensive purposes.
For settlement of disputes or
They are actually have full rights, sir.
immediate ongoing encounters like what happened to Mama Sapano.
Yes, sir.
Anong ginawa ng GPST noon? Wala pang GPST noon sa Mama Sapano, di ba? Wala pa?
Yes, sir.
Wala pa. CCH pala yung nandun noon.
Yes.
CCH. So,
Yes, Your Honor.
okay.
If I may emphasize, Your Honor, during the ambush of the Governor of Lanao, they were the first responders to that. Before the AFP and PNP were able to secure the scene, they were the first responders. In all calamities in the areas where they are deployed, they're usually the first responders also.
Yung nga, pag-respond nila doon, inambos si Gobernador.
Yes.
Pag-respond nila doon, hanggang saan yung papel nila?
Just to secure the area
to
until
secure the Governor. Hindi sila mag-hot pursuit kasi sila
Yes, sir.
pinakauna sa area.
they'll wait for the army.
Kakaalis lang.
Yeah, but
Hindi sila habol.
You know, sir.
Hindi.
They'll let the regular army forces and the PNP do that, sir.
Joint security,
Yes, sir.
peace and security.
Offensive is
Teams.
not part of their mandate, sir. Unfortunately, sir.
Oh.
So,
Di offensive. Nandoon na nga eh. Nandoon na nga.
not unless fired upon, sir.
Ha?
Yes. Not only
Sayang.
as fired.
Sayang. Kung kakaalis lang ng mga
You're right, sir.
doon sila,
But,
hindi na habulin.
again,
Okay.
yes, sir.
Hirap. Oh, lugi tayo dyan.
But they know how to defend themselves, sir. So, don't worry about
Alam natin yan. Pero, yun nga. Sayang. Pero sige lang. Kung limited yan yung...
As you said, Your Honor, they can't go beyond what the AFP and PNP has been mandated to do as the JPST. So, we can't go over that. But they're able to help curb the criminality in their areas. They're able to return motor vehicles that were stolen, etc. They helped in the law enforcement. Yes, sir.
In many cases, they've met with great success. In some instances, because of some level of confusion and lack of planning and foresight, perhaps. We are also aware that they've overlapped with the regular PNP and AFP. Kaya nga, we're asking for the plan para alam natin. At sayang naman baklasin yan. Eksakto kung kailan pa magkakagulo sa eleksyon. Saka pa babaklasin. Wag naman ganun. Maganda na nariyan sila.
Yes, Your Honor.
Kabisado na nila yung lugar.
We have crafted the transition plan already on.
But
waiting
very clear
for
yun,
implementation.
Your Honor, na last to be decommissioned.
Yes.
Last man out yan sila. Ha?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
Senator Francis.
Just a follow-up question, Mr. Chairman. We're looking at, sir, isa na lang. We're looking at 3 elections come 2025. The regular midterm elections, the postponed BARM elections, as well as the December barangay elections. So in terms of timeline, when will the quote-unquote exact decommissioning process end? Before the midterm elections or before the December barangay elections?
I'm not answering for the panel, sir, but the hope is before the elections, all of them have to be decommissioned. But I guess my timeline is tied up to the timeline of the decision of the panel as to the actual decommissioning timeline of the last phase for the MILF.
What election? The national elections?
National elections.
Terry Galvez?
Yes, sir. Our desired outcome is before the first BARM election. That's why we are localizing all the normalization process now. We're involving the governors and also the LGUs so that they all can agree on this timeline. Because the decommissioning, as we have said, the decommissioning should be in parallel with the dismantling of PAGs. At the same time, with the collections of all loose firearms.
Thank you, Senator Francis. Can we really meet the 2025 deadline, considering that it was mentioned during our last hearing that the independent commissioning body is still waiting for the submission of the names of the 40,000 combatants to be submitted by the MILF implementing panel? When do you expect to receive the listing of these 40,000 combatants for decommissioning? Are we sure that we can meet the 2025 deadline?
Your Honors, we all know that we are now in the last phase to decommission the last 14,000. But the start of the decommissioning is the submission of the list from the MILF. So,
How long will it take?
as the chairman of the government panel, I'm talking with my counterpart in the MILF, asking him to,
Who in particular?
Minister Iqbal of the MILF, who is also the Minister of Education of BARM government.
Mhm.
But I have to admit to this body that what the MILF side is saying is we have to fast track the delivery of the socio-economic component. So that is why we are working doubly on the part of the government of the Philippines to deliver a bigger portion of the socio-economic, because this is what the MILF side is also wanting. So with
What
this,
if they fail to deliver? What will happen?
actually, Your Honor, is continuously talking with the Minister Iqbal.
You're still hopeful.
Yes,
But what if you don't meet the target?
actually, Your Honor,
Will the elections in
we have
BARM
always-
be chaotic?
Sir, actually, sir, for the information of everybody, during the barangay elections, we personally talked with the base commanders and also with the MILF. And thankfully that during the barangay elections, the MILF commanders deliver their message. They were not involved in any atrocities that happened during the election. That's why kung makita po natin during the barangay election in BARM, ang pinakaano lang na ano po natin na nakita natin yung nangyari sa DOS, sa natawag na Dato Dinsinsuat at saka sa Cotabato City, and also in Lanao. Meaning yung there is some sort of already commitment with our counterpart. If we agreed that we work hard to make the election very peaceful, it can happen, sir. And we are very confident that with the commitment of the MILF right now and the leadership, Chief Minister, and also with the Central Committee and also the whole BARM government, we're still, we're very hopeful that the BARM election will be very peaceful. So it is a work in progress. But the barangay elections that we had, that we had the last year, it is a testament that the MILF has the commitment.
Alright, that's why tinatanong ko nga si Presidential Advisor Yano kanina, can we still meet the deadline? Despite the fact that the MILF is asking for the minamadali nila yung mga socio-economic benefits para sa kanila. What is the status?
as you mentioned, Your Honor, we are hopeful that the MILF will support the peace process by completing this the commissioning, Your Honor. We have always told them that as we speak, we have enough money for the commissioning, the 100,000 pesos for the to be decommissioned combatants, and they are aware about it, Your Honor.
Okay, I received information dun sa phase 3, the commissioning of 14,000. It took 2 years, am I correct?
Yes, Your Honor, because of the pandemic.
Because of the
Yes, the pandemic. So, actually, sir, if when we implemented the first phase, the 12,000, very advanced po tayo, sir, Your Honor. But during the pandemic, 2020, 2021, and 2022, because of the restrictions of there will be no gathering, we were not able to accomplish that, Your Honor. But beside that, from 12,000, we were able to decommission 26,000. 26,000.
Alright.
And we are very hopeful, Your Honor, that this year, the 7,000 will be decommissioned.
All right, thank you very much for attending today's public hearing. And I think Senator Raffy Tulfo wants to have another hearing probably after, kasi marami siyang hinihingi mga documents. Just submit nilang the documents asked by Senator Tulfo. Anyway, due to lack of material time. Oh yes. Kanino?
I think I also requested some plans for the JPST as well as
Yes.
other reports on the accomplishments of the BNTF and such other sums. I also requested the legal basis for the expenditure as well as the legal basis for the listing of the 40,000 and 7,000 because you only have a letter. Perhaps you can be provided with that letter and such other documents as may be pertinent. Kasi yung sinasabing EO ni Secretary Galvez, wala naman nakasaad doon yung gastos na 100,000.
All right, please submit the necessary documents as requested by Senator Imee Marcos before this committee. Anyway, I'd like to thank all my colleagues who attended this hearing and as well as the resource persons who attended today's public hearing. Meeting is now suspended. Thank you.
Hanggang dito lang tayo mga tol. Maraming salamat sa panonood at patuloy na suporta. God bless you sa inyo lahat at hanggang sa muli. Paalam.